Who the f*** are you?
My goofy brothers.
Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
Would everybody just relax for a second? There's no such thing as an...
Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
That is an alien parasite.
Hello and welcome. Episode 40. We've made it to 40.
We've made it to 40.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen.
You may notice something a little different.
Perhaps. Oh my god, dude. The amount of work this man put into this.
Yeah, this was the same room. The fireplace and the bookshelf is still the same. Everything else is different. Painted the walls. Getting these chairs down the basement stairs, getting them from the garage, through the basement stairs, down into here. I had to take off the door, the outside door.
Really?
I had to take off the door, yeah. And that door is like an exterior door. It's like very heavy.
Yeah, I bet,
so,
man. I bet.
It was an adventure, but hey, it looks pretty good, right?
Right? I'm digging it. There's still some modifications going to be made. The paint is still drying.
The paint is literally still drying. I've
Yeah.
already accidentally scraped off some, and I bumped my elbow, so now there's paint on this shirt. But yeah, a second coat of paint will go down. I made these cool portraits today. Very excited for these. There's Tito as well, but he didn't fit, so we'll have to find a space for
We'll
Tito.
have a second row here
yeah.
eventually of all other major commie leaders. But yeah, we're back. We've spent the last 2 hours basically just setting this up. I was hoping to be out of here by now, but
Yeah.
I didn't even realize we had this. I'm glad I came early.
Yeah, I know. We can kind of wrap this up because you've been here for like 2 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's just when you do all this, you got to put it all back. Anyways, Welcome back, episode 40. This one is honestly going to be a little shorter. I know we say that every time, but we just didn't have. There's not much that went on. There's not such catastrophic things, such major things have been happening in the past 4 or 5 weeks.
Yeah, and we're also
used to it. We're not used to like such little news.
Yeah, and we're also kind of like behind. We're on a weird off sync with the news, right? Because like the day we posted our last episode was the day that Biden dropped out,
and then I'm like, but we still have to post it.
So like, yeah, so our information was kind of out of date because it was all about him getting COVID and like Trump's assassination and everything. And then like literally like the day before we posted it, I think he dropped out. So we're like 8 days now behind this news cycle. So that's the kind of the big story is Biden dropping out. But by the time this goes live, which will be like this weekend, that will have been out for a full week. I think that story will have been broke by a week.
So we should speak as that everybody already knows.
Yeah,
that it's been out for a while.
Yeah,
even though it's only been a couple of days.
To us, it's been 5 days now for us, right? It was on Saturday or Sunday he made that
something like that.
Yeah. So we're recording this on Thursday, the 25th. So yeah, it's been like 5 or 6 days. So yeah, I mean we can jump right into that. That's kind of
I know the deprogram sometimes is like 2 weeks behind. Like,
yeah, and that's okay. It doesn't. We talked about that often. It doesn't have to be like immediately like right as what we're talking about. But
so I mean, let's get to the fucking dirt of it, or whatever.
Biden dropped out. He did address the nation last night. He did a televised event last night. I kind of forgot about that until right now. He did do a televised. Yeah, he did a televised because it was always people were always kind of like weird because he just tweeted this message with there's no audio, no video.
It's like breaking up with a girlfriend through text.
Which
I have done before, not proudly. Okay?
Oh no, bro. Yeah, it was weird because like he just like released this statement and like everyone was just like, is he dead? Like did his team release this? Because it's not like he doesn't run his Twitter account, so it's not like he tweeted that. So it's like could that have been a coup? Like you could just put that message out. It obviously wasn't. Although we'll talk about the Kamala Harris and kind of the coup conversation in a minute, but Biden last either Saturday or Sunday now, I don't remember what it was, just quietly released a statement that he was dropping out. He did go on live television last night, or maybe it was the night before. No, it was last night, and kind of and address the elephant in the room of him dropping out. And he's fully supports. He endorses Harris, and now Harris is kind of the presumptive nominee.
Yeah, he kind of had to, man. It was time. Like, there's no way you're gonna win. It's so obvious.
Yeah, after the Trump assassination attempt, like his numbers are just huge, and like, Trump was beating Biden by like.
But he also had to like make sure that to actually have some sort of televised event. Otherwise, they would have thought he actually died because he got the vid. He got COVID.
Yeah,
and then he just dropped this banger on us on fucking Instagram or Twitter or whatever the fuck
he
it was.
Dead? Yeah.
And then he's like, then there's no visual, representation of whether he's alive or not.
Yeah.
And then once Alex Jones starts making conspiracy theories that he's actually dead and they don't want to tell anybody, they're just like, dude, you got to come out and like, don't pussy out, come out and talk about you dropping out. And he endorsed Kamala. He said she would make a great president, whatever the fuck that means.
Yeah.
But a lot of people were hoping for the convention to be like an open convention.
I still think it might be because like she doesn't. So this is, I mean, yeah, I think we were already planning on talking about this. If we're ready to do it now, there's like, so as I understand it, the DNC is in 2 weeks. It's like the 12th, 11th, 13th or something like that of August.
Yeah.
Harris is not the nominee. She's the presumptive nominee, but she's not the official nominee. The nominating process happens at the DNC.
Well, Biden wasn't even in the actual nominee yet. He was a presumptive nominee as well.
Well, sure. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, Biden is still, prior to him dropping out last week, he still wasn't the official nominee. That nominating ceremony or that nominating situation happens at the DNC. And that's still true even of Harris. So I'm wondering, is there going to be like a shit show, like a clown fiesta of like all these Dems vying for power? Is like, is Tulsi Gabbard gonna show up? Is whoever, you know what I mean?
Get the fuck out of here, Tulsi Gabbard.
Gavin Newsom, Eric Holder. I think like Eric Holder is on the short list to be. Hold on, there's a lot of conversations here.
Yeah.
There's Harris's VP choices. There's the actual, assuming she's like the nominee, then prior to that, there's the actual nominating process. Yeah. So like, will there be? Well, I guess we'll find out in a couple weeks. Will there be a nominating process? Is she, or is she just going to be handed it? I don't know.
There's two things that we can take from this. Is one, if they just nominate the person, they kind of have a head start.
Yeah.
If you just nominate a person like that, yes, it's undemocratic, whatever, but it's a political party. It's not a government.
Yeah.
Right. So you could really do what the fuck you want in a political party. They just give you a democratic processes or whatever they consider that. If they consider democratic, just out of to be nice to people and be like, hey, you can run, you can try to be a Democratic nominee, but they don't have to have, from what I believe, a whole democratic process. They could just choose a nominee, like PSL. PSL doesn't have to have they didn't. I think they just chose the two people because they thought were going to be the most viable people, and they put them forth. The Democratic Party can still just do that.
I guess, right? There's nothing stopping them from just saying this is the nominee.
And I think it would be smarter to just do that.
Yeah.
Right. And it's not that I'm opposing to democracy, but like if from the Democratic Party's eyes, if you're going to want non-chaotic and structured replacement of Biden, the best thing to do is just have a nominee that is just steps in, who is already part of the party, already part of the administration, which was Kamala Harris, and has approval from the previous president, which was Joe Biden when he dropped out. On top of those two things, if you had a convention to get amount of money that you need, because you'd have to pretty much restructure the entire campaign depending on who it is. And is there enough money in that? And do they have enough time to distribute their propaganda to choose their candidate?
Well, dude, I mean, Harris received a record-breaking $100 million within the first
24 hours.
24 hours. I think it was 85 million within the first 24 hours, and it's $100 million within the first 5 days. That number that surge slowed, but the amount of money that Harris raised instantly. Also, and this is where my conspiracy theory brain comes on, is the second she fucking dude, I just want to be able to put on my tinfoil hat. Dude, the second that happened, all of my YouTube ads were just Harris's face. My Instagram ads are Harris's face. You seeing those, dude?
Yes.
They had to have those ready, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
100%. There's no way they can make those that. I
mean,
quick.
I guess you could. It's just a simple ad in a room, cut it, throw it out. It just seems like they were just ready for Biden to drop out.
What did I tell you? I said this before, right after the debate. Is he's not, even if he drops out, he's not going to immediately drop out. It would bring chaos. They're gonna get everything ready, and then when he drops out, they have everything ready to pump out. Yeah. I'm telling you,
it just seemed like it was just too fast. The second he said, "I'm not running," Harris's campaign video started, raising $100 million, just all the coconut bullshit.
Bro, that was planned.
Just
I swear
all
to
this
God.
bullshit happened instantly.
Summer,
and the Charlie XCX thing, yeah, dude. I was just all this shit happened, and I'm like, oh my God, dude. The liberal and this was brought up Okay, we're off on a tangent. This is very excited. We're all excitable. Let's finish the just Democratic question, because a lot of people are kind of like complaining about that too. Is like no one voted for Harris in any primary election, and I don't really have a problem with that because that's kind of how the party process works. Kind of what you were saying.
Yeah.
That's how a party process works. Is that's like how English elections are too. Like you don't always like you know what I mean. That's electoral politics, and that's like party politics. That's just how that goes. I don't really have a problem with that. I don't necessarily think that's undemocratic.
Yeah.
I think American electoral politics are undemocratic as a whole. Like in general, we don't have a direct democracy. We have a representative democracy, but even further from representative democracy, we have this electoral system where, especially in the presidential elections, and that's less so for like congressional and Senate races, but because that's more of direct voting. But for presidential races, you have delegates, and like so you have pledged delegates, super delegates, and those delegates are support a candidate or they don't support a candidate, regardless of your vote. Like the popular vote rarely matters, right? I mean, we know that from Hillary won the popular vote in 2016 and lost. In fact, of the last 2000, going further, 92, 96, 2000, 2004, 2012, 2012, 2016, and 2020. Of those 8 presidential elections, the Republican has only won the popular vote, I want to say, once. And that was Bush in 2004.
Yeah.
Clinton won the popular vote in 92 and 96. Gore won the popular vote in 2000. Bush, the only Republican in the last 8 elections, was Bush in 2004.
Even with Clinton,
Clinton won the popular vote.
Yeah.
And then 2004, Bush won. He beat Kerry Edwards in 2004. Then Obama in 2008, Obama in 2012, Hillary Clinton in 2016, and Biden in 2020. Of the last 8 presidential elections, a Republican has only won one popular vote. And of those 8 presidential elections, the majority of them have been Republican.
Yeah.
Even though they've only won one of those popular votes. Well, let me see. 4 were... I take it back. 4 were Democrat, 3 were Republican, and then the 8th was Biden again. So 5-3. My point still stands, is that Republicans don't win popular votes, but they still win presidencies because of the electoral colleges, which just further proves the point that it's not actually
really
a real democracy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Plus, there's also gerrymandering.
Yeah, that's not even talking about like local elections. Local elections are even worse because of gerrymandering, right? Like you can have like a primary, like your state can be made up of like primary Democrats, or majority Democrats, I should say, but like you'll still send more conservatives to Congress, more Republicans to Congress because through gerrymandering.
Yes.
That's a whole other conversation we don't get into. Let's get back to the VP pick.
Yeah.
The point is, let's move on, I guess. Let's talk about who the VP's pick will be.
Fair enough.
If Harris was this, if Harris is tinfoil hat.
Scroll down. Look at the fucking photos.
Wait, like photos of it, like swiping
Yeah.
it. Oh my god.
It's $6.
Oh my god.
I
I have foil upstairs. I'll just make one.
I think it would be funny.
Because then if I made one, it could be like a pirate hat. I can make like a 3-tiered hat.
Let's do it.
All right, yeah. We don't need to buy a weird foil shower cap, but it's pretty cool though, I guess. The only reason I bring up the vice presidential pick of like who Harris is going to choose is because that's like will need to happen soon.
It is important, yeah.
It is important, and it's kind of relevant to me because on the very very short list is Senator Mark Kelly from Arizona. Mark Kelly is kind of like, I think it'll either be him or Eric Holder, Obama's former attorney general. I think it's kind of what.
VP?
Yeah, that's kind of what I've seen is that like I guess Kelly's already been sent like the vetting paperwork and stuff the same way like the 5 Republican
I've seen
chosen
a few
were.
other people, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean there's like Whitmer, there's Newsom, there's
I see Newsom is not as up there as I thought.
Oh, also, do you see the Newsom news about California?
Yes,
We
that's
can
not a
talk
good
about that
look.
later.
I don't think he's gonna be chosen now because of that.
Yeah.
Because that's major news. We'll
We'll talk about we'll do a lightning round of domestic bullshit later, but
yeah. I also heard about Shapiro. I was the Pennsylvania, I believe.
Oh yeah.
But also there was a guy, and I kind of, I don't want to say I like him, but like out of being a Democrat in a red state and kind of like upholding, like being very stern on what he beliees.
Manchin.
No, fuck no.
Democrat from red state? No.
No, I'm talking about it's either Kentucky or Tennessee. What was it? Bashir.
Oh,
I don't know if you've heard of him.
Yeah, I've heard of him.
I just heard of him recently, and I mean, obviously, I'm not a fucking Democrat, but like, it's kind of nice having like a lot of Republican laws trying to be passed and having a Democrat just being like, "Go fuck yourself."
Yeah.
Right. That is kind of nice to see. So like he's set up for trans rights. And
You keep going. I'm gonna go let my dogs in.
Yeah. He got some crazy ass dogs.
I got crazy ass dogs.
Yeah. So he stands up for trans rights. And he stood up for I think some abortion laws that they were trying to pass through, and so it's obviously he's not a fucking tanky commie socialist or any left wing,
but at least he's progressive.
but he actually like instead of like Joe Manchin who just falters to the red Congress in West Virginia or whatever the fuck he's from, right? West Virginia, yeah, there's too many of them. He actually
Or just regular Virginia, I can't.
Yeah, who knows? Same shit. I'm just kidding. They're not the same thing. But yeah, he stood up and he's like, no, we're not going to pass that, And as a governor, it's a good look. And I think I'll wait for him to come back.
Okay, we need a slightly better system for getting in and out.
So as I was saying,
Sorry, continue.
No, you're all good. As I was saying, this Bashir guy, he actually has a bit of determination and fights back against the right wing and the states that he governs, or the state that he governs. That'd be crazy to be a multiple governor. I don't even think that's possible. But I think he would be a good pick for Kamala for VP because he's in a southern state. He's had a good go at it. He's actually probably more progressive than Kamala. He's got a southern twang to him.
It's Kentucky.
Right?
It's Andy Bashir from Kentucky.
Yeah.
He's governor of Kentucky, Andy Bashir.
Yeah, and he's got a southern twang to him. Sounds good. And I think just to get some southern votes, I think it might actually bring.
And he's
some
just
people.
the whitest man. I loved all the memes of like there will never be a white man as white as the white man that Kamala has to pick, because like.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Bashir would be really good.
Yeah,
it'd be. I don't know much about what was it, Mark Kelly.
Mark Kelly, yeah. He's a pretty standard Dem. He's like he's okay on like abortion. I think he's okay on like social issues like trans and abortions and stuff. But he's kind of like he's voted pro-Israel. He's voted. I mean, he's just a mainline Democrat.
Pass.
Mark Kelly is really famous because he's like he was an astronaut.
Was he?
Yeah, he was on the ISS and all that. And his wife is Gabby Giffords, the congresswoman from Tucson who was shot in the head and survived. And so so they have a lot of like national feel good energy to them, right? Like if Kelly and Gabby Giffords are kind of like doing the hand waving, baby kissing kind of like tours.
Mark Kelly, vice president.
Yeah,
astronaut.
it's just a good look because he's like he's just
you're playing politics.
Yeah.
No, I get that.
He has a twin brother too, I think, Mark Kelly. Yeah, but except when I taught in Arizona, middle schoolers, dude, they used to roast Mark Kelly because he looks like a minion. Like he looks like an actual like the minion.
I see this. I'll pop it up here.
Yeah, show like just look up. He's just got he's an egghead, dude.
I can already tell what he's gonna be like.
He's an actual egghead, dude. Like he just looks like a minion.
Oh my god! like he looks Russian.
Yeah.
He spent way too much time with the Russians up there in the ISS.
Yeah, so he's kind of, I guess he's been sent, like he's kind of on that short list.
Yeah.
There's a handful of guys that are.
Okay. Look up Shaban Šaulić.
Who?
He's basically like a Bosnian Serbian singer.
How do you spell that, man?
Saban and then space.
Yeah.
Saulic.
That's so much simpler than it sounded. Oh, he looks like Mark Kelly. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Put a photo
put
of
that
him.
guy up here.
Oh yeah, here.
I'll put Shaban Šaulić just for.
Here's a good photo. Like that's right. It's like put that side by side with Mark Kelly.
I will put him side by side with Mark Kelly. No, that's a.
How do you say his name?
Shaban Šaulić.
Shaban Šaulić.
Yes.
So many accents in the name.
Well, the S has a little V on top, which makes it a sh.
Oh, okay. There you go. What language is that?
That's Bosnian, Serbian, Croatian, Serbo-Croatian, whatever the fuck you want to call it.
Is it all the same language?
Yeah, it's all the same language, just different dialects. We murder each other over it.
Okay, fair enough.
But no, he's very, very famous singer. He just died recently in a car crash on the Autobahn. As all Balkan singers do.
Was he drinking?
No.
That would complete the stereotype. Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, that would actually no. When we drink, we don't crash.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be more of the
drinkers.
stereotype. Somebody else hit us.
All right, cool. I mean, I don't know. Is there anything else you want to talk about Harris as the VP nom? I mean, I feel like it's kind of old news at this point.
Yeah.
And her VP pick might have.
So
It might be out by the time
I
this
think
episode's
Harris is
out.
going to win.
Her polling numbers, and this is a good transition because we can talk about that. Her polling numbers are already much better. She's already up above Trump in a lot of there was a Reuters poll from a few swing states. Yeah, and she's already up quite a bit. I think depending on the VP pick and depending on how she does, if there's a debate, if there's another debate, which I don't think Trump would ever agree to, but if there's another debate, she would absolutely smoke Donald Trump because she is a weirdo and she has a weird laugh and I hate her. I just hate her so much.
I do too.
And we haven't talked about her
Sorry about
politics
all
at
the
all
people that
because
heard that.
we've roasted Harris a lot on this
Kamala.
show for just being like AWOL, like being absent as a vice president. Like no one's
Yeah.
ever heard from her except for when she was sent to go like tell migrants from Guatemala or whatever to not come. Do not come. Besides that, she hasn't really been in the spotlight. But like this last week, a lot of her kind of stuff has been surfacing, and like we've reminded how awful she is, and like how much crooked shit she did as the she's the attorney general of California. Yeah. Whatever she was in California, the lead prosecutor there, she's like, hardcore cop, which is so funny because what I'm seeing a lot is that the back the blue Lives Matter crowd is voting for the felon, and all the ACAB folks with ACAB in their Twitter bios are voting for the cop. And it's just very funny. I find that very funny.
That's very ironic.
Yeah, and it's just a quick lightning round of things Harris has done. There was evidence that could clear a man who was on death row, and Kamala Harris withheld that evidence. She like prevented that evidence from being forwarded to let that man go free. She's intentionally kept people in jail much longer than their sentences, like tons of people, because of the labor they provided for California, the free labor, slave labor. There's a whole laundry list. I'll pull up an image or something. We'll put it here. There's a bulleted list of everything she's done as AG of California, where she's just awful. Like she has the worst track record of just like completely subjugating and oppressing black and brown people of California as like a prosecutor, because a prosecutor is just head cop, right? That's just like cops and prosecutors are very close. They have a very close relationship because they need to, because when police put cases forward, they need prosecutors to just carry that ball forward and do that. And all they care about is their like conviction record, regardless of whether or not the person's innocent. And we've seen that when innocent people have come prosecuted by Harris, she has ignored evidence that would otherwise prove their innocence, just so she could get her conviction rate up, just so she can keep that percentage rate up. She's truly awful. She's just like
she is.
She's just the worst of the worst. I mean, so like that's why ACAB includes Kamala Harris. Yeah. ACAB includes prosecutors. Yeah.
I don't know what the correct term is.
So, yeah, I don't want it to be like...
Have you seen that video of her laughing at somebody asking... I think it's 2014.
Why do we build more prisons and schools?
No. That's another one.
There's another video which is talking about building prisons and schools.
2014, somebody walked up to her and asked her about legalizing marijuana.
Oh,
right?
She just laughs in their face?
She just goes...
She does that weird laugh? Yeah.
She just laughs in their face after asking about legalizing
Yeah, because
marijuana.
we've talked about this before. Weed is legal recreationally in California. However, there are still... Now it is, yes. However, there are still thousands of people in California serving life sentences for just marijuana possession, which is fucking insane. That those I still don't believe that. And I could be wrong about this. If I'm wrong, I'll put a little retraction. But I still believe that those records haven't been like expunged and those convictions haven't been overturned.
I have seen recently that one of the things that Biden wants to do before he leaves office for his term, is he wants to lift all charges on. It was like minor possession or something like that on marijuana.
I mean, you should. I mean, they should just remove. I think that was discussed but never completed, is removing marijuana as like the Schedule 1 narcotic, like on the same level as heroin and like methamphetamines.
It's crazy.
It's crazy that marijuana is still classified as like as hard as heroin, which is just I think they made a big stink about removing that from the Schedule 1 narcotic. I don't know if they ever actually did. I'll have to double check. The point is, Harris is awful. Everyone is kind of talking that like, oh, Biden's gone, so like we can support Democrats now, right? No, this doesn't change anything. She's still going to continue the same policies as Biden
in the same administration.
She is Biden. She's the same administration. Yeah, and I mean, I don't know what her stance on Israel is specifically. I mean, I mean, we know what it is. It's pro-Israel. She released a statement. She
went to APAC and she's like, I am so honored to be here at APAC.
She's at almost $6 million in donations. Excuse me, from APAC. Yeah, she's a full-on like Israel stooge. I don't know. We'll kind of have to see where this goes and what happens from the...
I remember my girlfriend asking me, do you think Kamala Harris will win? It's like, do you think that she'll be able to pull through? And I told her yes. I told her specifically.
You go. I'm gonna pull up some polling information.
Go for it. I told her specifically that Biden lost a lot of the normie vote because of his cognitive disability. Because he was physically just cognitively not there, not because of the policies that they enact. And so once they have somebody in there that is cognitively present, that is, able to actually speak in coherent sentences, that a lot of those people would just come back. Because most of those people agree with the policies. They didn't leave Biden because they didn't agree with him. They left him because he is not coherent, right? And so when they replace him, they'll come back, and we immediately see that in the polls. Immediately, I'm talking like 4%, like 4-point poll jumps for the most part.
Yeah, for sure. That has leveled off. It looks like it's actually gone back about to even again. So the honeymoon phase is over with Harris. It's been a week, give or take, and I think those polling numbers are kind of starting to like level off to what they're more accurately.
Yeah.
Immediately after the announcement, I think her poll numbers were up.
Yeah.
I think as people have like learned more about her, as people like have the excitement of having not having to vote for Biden anymore has worn off, then people are like, oh yeah, she's still kind of awful. So it's as of right now, the New York Times Cienega poll has Trump ahead by 1.
Biden was back by like 4.
Oh yeah, right. At that time, Biden was down 6 in that same poll. I think 2 weeks before. So I mean, that's still a huge jump. It's just she's no longer like 4 points up. It's now about even.
Yeah.
And so with the margin of error on these polls is like 3 to 4%. It's literally anyone's game. And so we are now back to a coin flip. Whereas a week ago it was guaranteed Trump victory. Now we're back into a race. And so this comes down to these advertising dollars that they're spending.
Yes.
The VP pick will have like an influence on this. There's going to be some heavy campaigning in swing states.
I think the best thing to do to try to take some people away from Trump.
Yeah.
Like those moderate Republicans.
Well, speaking of, that's if RFK is in the poll or not. So if RFK is in the poll, Trump's numbers go way down and Harris's numbers goes way up because RFK.
Well, that's why Trump was talking
to
I
RFK,
saw a video, and this can't be AI, man. There was such a clear video of RFK talking to Trump on the phone about a place in his administration.
Yeah, you mentioned that last week.
Yes, I saw of it unless I was dreaming. But like, good God, like, what's the chance of?
I haven't heard that, but I don't know. But that would be a smart thing to do. If that would be the politically savvy thing to do, is to get RFK out of the race. Trump would need to offer him something to get him out of the race. Secretary of State, some high-ranking position to get him out of the race. Because if RFK is on the ballot, Trump loses. Just flat out, because RFK pulls more voters away from Trump than he does away from Harris. If it's a straight Harris-Trump, it's a 50-50, it's a coin flip. But with RFK in the mix, those numbers
votes for RFK, man? Was that frat boys or something?
I don't know. I feel like there's enough like weird libertarians.
Videos of him like working out with the chest
No, I get
out.
it. There's enough like weird right-wing libertarians that are never Trumpers, right? There's like that's like 5% of the population. I think he's actually polling it like close to 10% now. So there's like 10% of the population that don't like Trump but would never vote for Biden or would never vote for Harris, like women of color, because they're still right-wing freaks.
Yeah.
So they'll vote for RFK. So I think that's where that.
If RFK does drop out, he won't endorse anybody.
He definitely wouldn't endorse Harris. I wouldn't imagine.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
think he'll just quietly go back to wherever he came from.
That's what I'm saying.
The hive of worms that he came from.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Who the f are you?
My goofy brothers.
Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
Would everybody just relax for a second? There's no such thing as an...
Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
That is an alien parasite.
Yeah, what a fucking freak, dude.
It's like a Rick and Morty episode, man.
Dude, I am obsessed with RFK. I said this last week, and I'll say it this week again. I love RFK. I'm gonna get a fucking RFK bumper sticker, dude. Like, I love following RFK on Instagram and on Twitter. This man is a freak. I love his mind.
Listen to RFK. Joe Rogan stands.
What?
Joe Rogan stands.
That's the subsect.
Yeah.
I mean, these weird right-wing freaks that don't like Trump, but they would never vote for a woman.
Yeah.
That's it. Joe Rogan fans. That's who
fans.
votes for RFK. And goddamn, I love RFK's mind. I love the way he thinks. I love his ads. Of course, I'm not serious and like I don't love RFK. I would never vote for RFK. He's a fucking right-wing freak, but I'm obsessed with his ads, dude. He's a fucking psychopath. He's actually a psychopath.
Watch me catch the snake. Just catches the snake.
Did we play that last week or 2 weeks ago, whatever? Oh man,
we do it.
You should play like a little highlight, just him like playing with a weird.
Let's watch it right
rattlesnake.
now. We'll make it into a short.
Rattlesnake in the driveway. Hold on, guys. I'll be back in a flash.
There's a rattlesnake in the driveway.
Yeah, and the editing future president.
That killed me.
Yeah.
That killed me.
And it's just like I don't know. This is so fucking loud. It's just like a weird, I don't know.
Only you.
Amazing.
That's amazing. But it's
I should be president.
and then he
because
lets it
that
back
guy's
out.
Rattlesnakes.
And then he lets it back out for some reason. Also, never fucking do this. Rattlesnakes are so dangerous. And like I will say, I'm pretty sure this is staged because like
This has gotta
there was a
be.
camera filming him while he was in a meeting that wasn't like his Zoom camera.
Yeah.
His wife came in and said,
Oh,
"Honey,
that's
there's a
100%
rattlesnake."
staged.
Yeah, and then he fucking picks up this rattlesnake. So it's obviously staged, but like you should never do this.
Yeah. There might even just be.
It might be not defanged, but like they
Also,
milk.
might be somebody's pet.
Yeah, well, you don't keep a rattlesnake as a pet, but like
Angler in there. I don't want to touch him. No. Ask Cheryl to bring me a military.
No. I'll watch it.
I should make fun of him for that, but I still do. Fuck it.
This is a beautiful snake. There's a western diamondback. You can tell.
His hand is getting way too close to his hand right there.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Put
Yeah.
him in here. All safe.
also, why does he have such like serious like throat fry?
I smoke way too much fucking crack. I don't know,
Oh
man.
my god, dude, fucking weird. Anyway, yeah, I saw that ad. It popped up as an ad, like as a promoted ad on my Instagram.
Yeah.
And I sent it to Kanan. I was just like, "What is this, man?" And ever since then, I've been following all of his ads, and I've been obsessed.
Oh my god, man, that's hilarious. I mean, it's original, I guess, but like, it just seems
It's just
so
like
low budget.
it just seems very low budget and weirdly staged, and like I don't know.
The
just
next
very
president
strange.
annotation. I could have made that video. I could have edited all of that.
Yeah.
Like that would have took 5 minutes to edit, 10 minutes to edit.
Well, you want to move on to
BB.
Bibi Netanyahu
right.
appearing before Congress. Netanyahu coming to America.
All right. Oh my god. So, I mean, we're gonna continue on with our next war criminal.
Yep.
From war criminal to war criminal. BB showed up. When was this?
2 days ago.
Yeah, I think it was.
So
2
from
days ago.
today, it would have been early. I think it was on the 22nd or 23rd. He appeared before Congress.
By the way, this man has an international
Warrant. Yeah, there's a warrant.
for him.
I don't think there's a couple countries he's been avoiding because of that, for that very reason.
So, which is it's kind of sad that there's an international warrant from the UN, and he comes to America, and America's just like, I don't
Yeah,
give
we're
a
fine.
fuck.
We'll,
not
receives
only
a
please
standing
come in,
ovation. Yeah.
calling him excellency, calling him. I'm like, dude, this is like.
Yeah.
And then they see all those fucking photos comparing him to Hitler, like the same,
the
like, good black
the
and white
clapping.
photos.
Yeah. What the best way I've heard this puts is that like the Democrats kind of claiming that we need to make this stop for fascism, and while simultaneously there's a genocidal a guy who's literally committing a genocide against an oppressed people, and they're giving him a standing ovation at the same time saying we need to stop fascism. And it's just like you've lost a plot. Like
Dude.
fascism is at our door. Like you are so
American politics. is
yeah.
going down
It's
the
just
drain.
it's just so dumb.
Uh,
He spoke before like a joint session of Congress. I think it was a joint session of Congress. Shout out to Rashida Tlaib, Democratic Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib. She had this cool sign. Maybe put an image of it here.
yeah.
It's like I forget what it said. Like it says like justice. It says something about like something about genocide on one side and something about like war criminal on the other or something. And so she just had that as a sign while she was there. I will say the media was pretty disingenuous about Harris, specifically not being there. There was a bunch of headlines saying like Harris not going to see Netanyahu or whatever.
Guilty of genocide and war criminal.
Guilty of genocide on one, war criminal on the other. She had this little sign that she was just holding. So that was cool. And some people refused to stand. Also, do you see Fetterman wore a suit to this?
For the first
For the
time.
first time ever, he
got
wears a
cucked
suit.
so hard.
He wears a
to-
suit to go to fucking Netanyahu. So it's like, Jesus, dude, what a fucking
Dude,
piece
I
of
don't
shit.
like how far is Netanyahu's fucking dick in his throat.
Yeah,
That's all I'm
That's
thinking.
the
is, like,
one thing. Fetterman's like, I'll wear fucking Carhartt sweater and jeans, shorts, jorts for everything.
Congress, yeah.
So everything. But
Everything.
when Daddy Netanyahu comes to town, I gotta look my best.
Put on your nicest slippers.
On your Sunday best for Netanyahu. I don't know why I'm giving a southern accent. He's from Pennsylvania. But still, the point is that fuck Fratterman, dude. Anyway, what was I saying? Rashid Tlaib, Congress spoke. Oh, there's been a lot of disingenuous headlines about Harris not attending that speech, and a lot of her like Harris, refuses to go to speech. Harris skips Netanyahu, whatever, and I think it's like they're trying to falsely claim that like Kamala Harris is like protesting the Netanyahu speech, whatever.
Yeah, no.
It is clearly it's very explicitly been stated that she just had a scheduling conflict. She met with him later I think it was later that week. I don't think it was that same day, but she met with him privately later that day. She is in no way opposed to going to see Netanyahu. That's how there's been this narrative of like she refused to go see Netanyahu. That's not what happened.
Yeah.
She just couldn't. She literally couldn't. So
Yeah.
Okay, let's calm down, everybody. She still supports Israel.
Well, yeah, we have to remember all the speeches that she has made at APAC. Like
Yeah.
she is, and saying she's honored to be here, and she just put out on Instagram. I just saw it recently.
That
letter
condemnation about the protesters.
Exactly.
Yeah. So while Netanyahu was speaking, there was a massive protest action in D.C. Thousands of protesters showed up, and it was all violently cracked down by local police, by Capitol Police, and just the D.C. police were there, just absolutely brutalizing protesters. There's been like multiple arrests, multiple injuries from it. You Google the images; it's pretty harrowing. There were a lot of just pro-Palestine protesters there protesting Netanyahu. I mean, like the actual war criminal. This is like. I don't know, like I don't like using Hitler analogies, but this is like I don't know who the biggest fucking like the dictator, your enemy, coming to your country and receiving a standing ovation by your government. This is who you come to protest. I don't remember the name of the fucking president who was like the 80s South African president. I forget his name.
Mandela?
No, that previous to Mandela getting released, like the apartheid. There was an apartheid president. It doesn't matter. The point is, there was an apartheid president, and he, like, America boycotted South African goods. That president, I don't believe ever came, or prime minister, whatever he is. I don't believe he ever came to speak to Congress because, like, I don't think he would have been welcome because, like, I think even in the 80s, like, America was pretty anti South African apartheid. I could be wrong. I mean, foolish of me to assume that America would do the right thing, but I would imagine that they would never invite that guy over, right? Like you would never.
It would look bad on it.
It would look bad, but I guess to be fair, like Pinochet probably spoke at Congress, so it's not like you know what I mean. We invite these right wing dictators to come speak, so I guess my point is moot. The point is that while the enemy of like the evil man, the guy who's literally a war criminal, who's literally has an arrest warrant out, like the guy who's on par with Putin in terms of like war crimes, way worse than Putin. Committing a genocide, actually active participant and leader of a genocide, he's being protested. Obviously he would be protested, and the governmental response to that was brutally cracking down on the protesters.
Well, that's because Israel is the 51st state of the United States. Like I mean, it's not even a state now. At this point, like Israel in general has their own lobby that pretty much has purchased 99% of the U.S. Congress. And so, of course, we're going to abide by whatever, AIPAC says, whatever Israel says, whatever Netanyahu, decrees. There will be small portions of, Congress people that like kind of like argue back. But even that may be kind of just for image issues, because if you even have 5, 10 people, 20 people, arguing back against what Israel wants done, what Israel wants, weapons, whatever, money, they know that is never going to pass, and so it kind of looks good just to have 20 people be like, I don't want this looks bad, right? It looks like there is some contesting against Israel's policies, but reality that's just a sham. And I mean, there's like again a conspiracy theory hat like that. Those might just be like fucking set by the Democratic Party, by the Republican Party, just so there's like
stooges or plants, like audience plants.
Yes, thank you. Like there's like some kind of plant to fight back. Like so there's like this like there's Congress people with a narrative against Israel, but in reality there's not enough Congress people to do anything about it. But it still gives it a hope, a false sense of democracy.
I have a Kamala statement pulled up, if you'll permit me. regarding the protests outside of DC or in DC for Netanyahu.
Yeah.
Yesterday at Union Station in Washington, D.C., we saw despicable acts by unpatriotic protesters and dangerous hate-fueled rhetoric. I condemn any individuals associating with the brutal terrorist organization Hamas, which has vowed to annihilate the state of Israel and kill Jews. Pro-Hamas graffiti and rhetoric is abhorrent, and we must not tolerate it in our nation. We should have some pro-Hamas graffiti right here.
That'd be kind of cool, actually.
I condemn the burning of the American flag. That flag is a symbol of our highest ideals as a nation and represents the promise of America. It should never be desecrated in that way.
Wow. Okay.
Well, first of all, the Supreme Court has ruled this flag
So
burning
she's anti-free speech.
anti-free speech, anti-First Amendment Kamala.
Oh my God.
Kamala, excuse me.
Kamala is against is against freedom of speech.
Yeah,
She's
Supreme
against the
Court has
Constitution.
ruled that burning of the American flag is a First Amendment protected activity. I condemn yada yada yada. I support the right to peacefully protest, but let's be clear: anti-Semitism. It's a typo here. It's not here nor there. It says cult. It doesn't matter. Anti-Semitism, hate, and violence of any kind have no place in our nation. First of all, being pro-Palestine isn't anti-Semitic. They were trying to make anti-Zionism anti-Semitic. That bill, I think, is actually scheduled to vote soon. The bill that would relabel anti-Zionism as anti-Semitism.
That is crazy.
Which is
to
fucking
me.
wild.
That's
a bill in America. That's
So like, okay, the next step should be presumably to make any bill that is against Saudi Arabia Islamophobic.
Yeah.
And that would make me one of the most Islamophobic men on earth, considering I grew up Muslim. So it doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
So
it's insane. It's just so like how far we've become. Just like I don't know. It's on one hand we are a satellite of Israel. On the other hand, satellites of Israel us. On any given day, it's that relationship changes as it suits our politicians.
The bourgeois class sits between. It's a fluid, transfer between Israel and America. It's one and the same. That's one thing. The second thing is that the fact that there are Jews who are now can be qualified as anti-Semitic because they're anti-Zionist. Make it make sense, please.
Yeah. It's insane. Also, we've said this before. We'll say it again. Equating Zionism with Judaism is anti-Semitic. Because that says that all Jews,
all Jews are
nationalists. All Jews are like loyalists to Israel, and all Jews want to persecute Arabs. So that's you're making assumptions of Jews. You're stereotyping
all
Jews.
Jews are colonizers.
Yeah, you are the ones saying you're stereotyping Jews. You are the ones putting labels on Jews. It's insane. Yeah, I don't know.
And then they call the other Jews that are the anti-Zionists the self-hating Jews.
Self-hating Jews, yeah. Sally Hates Capitalism gets a lot of that hate. Whatever your views are on Sally Hates Capitalism, she is a Jewish woman who is pro-Palestinian. She gets a lot of hate on the internet. I mean, basically, if you're a woman leftist on the internet, like Izdahar gets like I've gone through and I've like scrolled to the bottom of Izdahar's posts, Lady Izdahar's like TikToks, whatever, and like view hidden comments, whatever.
Yeah.
And it's just vitriolic, like the most racist, like kill yourself stuff. Like it's awful.
Oh, even like just like the sexualization. Like it's ridiculous.
It's just so bad. Yeah. So like all women in.
She's like, I hate these car scum, but this one's kind of pretty. I'm just like, what?
Yeah.
I saw the videos that she posts on YouTube. I watched them, and like she literally reiterates like all these ridiculous posts of basically sexualizing her or harassing her. But
she highlighted those recently, right? Yeah,
it's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, we still gotta ask her to come on. All right.
Izdahar, do you want to come on?
Izdahar, lady, I don't know, first name lady, so Miss Izdahar.
Miss Izdahar.
I don't know. I don't know. Anything else to say about Netanyahu coming to America?
I mean, just coming home, really.
Yeah, he's just coming home.
He's coming home. He's
coming back. Yeah.
Motherfucker's not even.
Well, I thought it very funny. I thought it was like it's an industrial state. The Harris's vice president pick could be somebody who graduated from like an industrial college, went to high school and college in an industrial state in the Northeast. Like has a lot of like minority support or whatever. And it's like Harris's pick for vice president should be Netanyahu. It's because like he went to school in Pennsylvania and it's like
Should we watch that compilation clip of?
Yeah, we haven't seen this, right? We haven't seen this ahead of time.
No, No, I've watched the first 8 minutes.
Yeah, this is
of
just
the
a compilation
speech,
of
and I
things.
could not take it anymore. And
Yeah.
I was literally about to just tell you know.
All right, well, here's just
On the
it's the
live-
highlights of Netanyahu's speech to Congress. We haven't seen this yet, so I don't know. I can, it's
Sit
yeah.
back and try not to produce self-harm.
Yeah, just do your best.
We meet today at a crossroads of history. Our world is in upheaval. In the Middle East, Iran's axis of terror confronts America, Israel, and our Arab friends.
What Arab friends?
This is
Saudi
not
Arabia, I
a
guess.
clash of civilizations. It's a clash between barbarism and civilization.
Just throw racism in there. Just
Yeah, it's just kind of unmasked Arab racism.
It's a clash between those who glorify death and those who sanctify life.
let's keep pause this for 1 second.
These are like proven child murderers.
I would like to point out one more time back on the anti-Semitic talk that we had just a second ago. Arabs are Semitic people, right? So when you start talking, when you start speaking, when you start reiterating shit that is racist towards Arabs, it is anti-Semitic, and it's almost racist to pin only Jews or Jewish people as Semitic people.
Yep.
Because Arabs speak a Semitic language. There are people in Eastern Africa, like the people in Ethiopia, that speak Amharic, which is a Semitic language.
Yeah.
So it's
I mean, most Semitic peoples are no longer exist.
Yeah.
I pulled up a list. It's
Coptic
Arabs,
Christians.
Jews, the Akkadians, the Phoenicians. Like these are ancient civilizations that are
Yeah.
no longer with us. But Arabs and Jews are part of that list, and yeah, they're
ancient
all
Egyptians
Semitic.
were also Semitic.
Sure.
And I get that some of that bloodline is still there. Most people that are in Egypt are not like Arab. They will say they're Arab, and they are culturally. They are mostly Arab, right? But if you go in their bloodline is Egyptian, right? Arabic is just like idea of being white. It is a construct of social norms, right?
Yeah.
People in Morocco, they speak Arabic. They have Arabic culture, but they are Berber people. They are not Arab by blood.
So, okay, I don't know.
Arabs originally came from southwestern Saudi Arabia, the Hejaz region,
Okay.
and they migrated along with their expansion.
Yeah, I
they
knew that.
migrated.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, that's my ancient history knowledge coming back.
Akkadians are
Yeah.
Semitic, but they're not Arab. But
Yeah.
Arabs moved up there, mixed with the people, and that's how Iraqis came to play.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Sure.
the history lesson. We can make a whole history lesson. later
Yeah.
on.
I mean, I'd like to get into more like long form like history content of like relevant to this stuff, like the history of Semitic peoples
Yeah.
and what, like, so when you say it's what Arabs being anti-Semitic, Arabs are Semitic.
Yeah.
Like, so like that's just kind of a weird.
That's anti-Semitic.
Yeah. So like, yeah, there would be there is an avenue there to make more long form like historical videos. Like
maybe if we get big enough, we can maybe open a second channel up and make
more like historical
yeah.
side of things. Yeah. Anyway, ready to go?
Back to the video.
For the forces of civilization to triumph, America and Israel must stand together.
They're all just standing.
There's
clapping
just
at
this
every
long
opportunity.
standing ovation for the line America and
My
Israel
lord!
must stand together.
Please, Lord, bless me with more APAC money.
Because when we stand together, something very simple happens. We win, they lose.
Who's
Winning,
they?
they is Arab Palestinians, Gazans, and winning is genocide, the extermination of that people.
And my friends, I came to assure you today of one thing. We will win. I thank President Biden for his heartfelt support for Israel after the savage attack on October 7th. He rightly called Hamas sheer
Hamas,
evil. He dispatched 2 aircraft carriers to the Middle East
one of
to
which is
deter a
ran
wider
away.
war.
Let's tell what it's like,
And he came to Israel
because of the Houthis.
to stand with us during our darkest hour, a visit that will never be forgotten.
Every time, just standing ovation.
Yeah, it's just this weird nut hugging of Israel and Netanyahu.
President Biden and I have known each other for over 40 years. I want to thank him for half a century of friendship to Israel and for being, as he says, a proud Zionist. Actually, he says a proud Irish American Zionist.
That's awful. That's the worst fucking thing I've ever heard. It's not surprising that Biden would be a proud Zionist, but what is happening? I don't like this.
No,
Oh, it's
hey,
a-
Mac.
It's an ad. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Fuck
What's
am
funny?
I? There we go.
What's funny is that the Irish are actually very anti-Israel.
Yeah,
they're
the Irish
not
are like the one that was the earliest, like what was it? The Irish MPs in Parliament were the most like outspoken and the most
I love the Irish, man.
anti-Israel. They were the first ones to really take a stand for Palestine. And this was like in like
Yeah.
late October or whatever.
They've
Yeah.
been taking stands for Palestine for a long time.
Yeah, I mean they've
Way
been
before that.
before that, but
Way
since
before
October
that.
7th, they're the ones like on the world stage that kind of first came to like notoriety
Yeah.
after the October 7th, because most people really started paying attention to the Israel-Palestine thing since October 7th. There's been a few like leftists have known what's going on, and a
Yeah.
few people have been known, especially if you're Arab or Palestinian. I don't know.
But
Yeah,
Loki moved to Ireland.
yeah,
Sounds
that'd be
real
cool.
nice.
Yeah, my good friends of mine who live in Seattle, they just visited Ireland, and they're like they wanted to move there.
It's dude, like the pubs in Dublin.
Yeah.
Go out for a couple drinks.
Yeah.
With the lassies or whatever. The
I
fuck
don't
they
want to
do.
visit, but I wouldn't want to live in Europe. I don't want to live in Europe, man.
I'm from Europe. Europe's
I
beautiful.
want to. I see. Like, me and my wife both speak Spanish well enough. Like, I want to go live in like, I don't know, like Uruguay or something. I want to go live in the
Uruguay?
middle of nowhere in the jungle in like
There's no jungle in Uruguay.
whatever. I want to go to South America somewhere and like live in. I guess like I don't want to live in Colombia or like I don't want to live in the north, where there is jungle, but like the southern Chile, like the Andes, that'd be cool.
Yeah, so we can be
Yeah.
with the Nazis.
That's Argentina.
They're right next to each other.
Oh,
That's
fair
what I'm
enough.
saying.
Yeah. Yeah, if
Well,
I'll avoid
a
German
lot of-
Argentinians.
A lot. It's kind of hard in the Andes considering all the Germans that lived in southern Germany and Austria lived in the Alps, and that's like the closest thing. to them.
This is their home.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's like their second
I
home.
don't actually want to leave, and I don't want to go live in South America. But I think that would be like where I'd want to live, is a Spanish speaking country.
I would want to live in Europe,
I want
but
to go live in Cuba. Let's just move to Cuba.
dude, that sounds nice. But if I moved to Europe, it would be like Ireland, or maybe like even like the Netherlands. Kind of sounds kind of.
Yeah,
But Ireland just sounds nice. It's kind of like a little bit isolated, but still English speaking, like left leaning people.
yeah.
Good food.
Good food.
Alcohol.
Isn't that what they're known for? Is awful food?
No, English.
Okay.
Are known for awful food.
Yeah.
The Irish have better food. They'll do a lot of lamb. They do a lot of potatoes and stuff like that. They have decent food. Not amazing, decent.
Okay.
I've been to Irish restaurants. Oh God.
Is there an Irish restaurant around here?
Yes, there's O'Donnell's that's on like deep South Everett.
Hmm.
But you can find a lot of Irish
I
restaurants.
found like an English Welsh bar restaurant. It's not too far from here. I don't want to say the name of it, but it's like a Rod Stewart bar. There's paintings and like portraits of Rod Stewart everywhere. It's very interesting. I like it. They do poker on Monday nights. I play poker there. That's probably enough information to figure it out. But yeah. Anyway, it's just a very English bar, and it was
fucking
they have
England.
like English flags and like a rugby and I don't know, English bullshit. Anyway, point is, it doesn't matter. There's no point.
Scotland sounds nice too.
That's
Glasgow.
We've been going for an hour. We said it was going to be a
Yeah.
short one, and here we are.
Told you.
Yeah. What's that timer say?
56 minutes.
56 minutes. Well, I'm cool to wrap it up there. There's a couple things we didn't talk about. Gavin Newsom's thing, but I want to do like, because there's a bunch of little things we missed, right? And I want to
do a
kind of
short on it?
I want
We
to
can clip that.
I want to just like I want to do a roundup and save it for next week.
Okay.
Because next week, I know we said this last week, is that there should be a lull because there's like all this major news happened. These last 7 days in America have been nutty. Assassination attempt, Biden's dropping out. Like there's just been a lot of big, like it's been a like this is, as a history teacher, this is like a moment that will be taught because like a lot of the stuff is newsworthy, right? Like we still talk about the Reagan assassination attempt. So a lot of stuff is happening. And we said last week, hopefully there's no more domestic news so we can talk about Israel and Palestine.
Hopefully.
And occupied Palestine. And then there's been, all we talked about today was Biden and Harris and Netanyahu's attempt.
Well, hear me out.
Yeah.
This is gonna pass. It's election season. Of course,
Yeah.
we're gonna talk about it.
Yeah.
Once it passes, we're rarely gonna talk about.
Well,
elections.
I think this next week should be a lull because this will be the week before the DNC.
Yeah.
next week. And so I think next week we should devote all of our time to updates on Palestine
And world news in general.
and Houthis and world news in general, kind of what's going on. We haven't talked about anything about the coalition in Africa that happened between Burkina Faso and those a couple.
Yes.
Yeah, we didn't talk about that little coalition. There's been some BRICS updates. There's been some cool BRICS news. There's been a lot of world news that's been
The
happening.
Palestine has China's come in and
China just
unified
just
two Palestinian
yeah,
parties.
China just showed up with like
There's
a
a lot of
14-point
things. Yes,
resolution
let's do
to
it.
help Palestine. We should just do like a world news segment. Let's
100%.
even if like fucking Biden dies next week, let's just not talk about domestic politics.
All right,
Maybe-
all right.
okay.
If that Biden dies next week, we'll make a short.
We'll make a little short about it,
We'll make
but
a short about
I
it.
just want to move away from American politics and talk about international politics.
Okay.
For a while, because we've just been I feel bad because we haven't talked about the Congolese, what's going on with the Congolese people in Sudan, not the Sudan or Congo. There's just been a lot of stuff going on in the world, and we should do like kind of we just need to talk about it.
100%.
Yeah.
So I want to, before we head out, I want to reiterate that we do have a Patreon. Please like, subscribe, comment on YouTube.
Revolutionary Rhetoric on YouTube.
Exactly.
Please.
Please find us on TikTok,
Revolutionary
Twitter.
Rhetoric. Revolutionary Rhetoric. Well, Rev Rhetoric on Twitter.
Yeah,
RevRet.
Pod.
Yeah,
Rev
just
Pod.
search Revolutionary Rhetoric Pod.
It will pop up anywhere.
It'll pop up anywhere.
On the
Follow us.
audio podcast, please give us a 5-star review or
Por
whatever
favor.
you think we get, and a written review would be fantastic. We will read it out.
We'll read
aloud.
the review. Well, I'm gonna
Yes,
check
on
actually.
our podcast. On our Patreon, we'll read out our reviews.
Oh, wait, is that a Patreon only thing?
About what we could do it on Patreon. We don't know. We haven't set that structure up yet.
We haven't decided.
We haven't decided. I also would like to thank JK for becoming our very first Patreon subscriber.
Hey,
Very
thanks.
first
What is
member.
it? Is it JK?
Just JK. That's all the information they gave us.
Okay.
We'll send you a email shortly.
We do have a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts.
Yes. And 4.9 on Spotify. How many do we have on Spotify? Like 9, 8?
I don't know. I'm only on Apple Podcasts.
That beer kicking in. The beer kicking in.
Beer kicking in, just burping. We have 9 reviews at a 4.9.
Nice.
You can't leave a written review on Spotify. I think
No.
it's only Apple Podcasts.
Well, yeah.
Um,
Well, if you're on Apple Podcasts, leave us a written review. And you can actually, I didn't know, but you could become a free Patreon member. You just won't get many
yeah, you can just
perks.
follow us on Patreon. Yeah,
Yeah.
you just get the updates and everything. But yes, so thank you to JK because only half of that money comes to us. The other half of it, we still need to find the charity. And I think there's a Palestinian Child's Fund. It's what I want to say the Anti-Capitalist Podcast Network.
Yeah.
That's what they support in their bio. I think we should just give that money to them. We actually,
Yes.
full disclosure, we've been saying that of our Patreon money, half of that will be going to Palestine, which is true. We actually hadn't actually discussed which mutual or which organization
Yeah.
that money would go to,
Because we haven't had anyone.
because no one, this was our first Patreon subscriber.
Yeah.
So shout out to you, JK. Thank you. Just know that half of your money is also going to Palestine.
So from like $3 that we get from our first
Yeah, the tier one is $3. Yeah.
Patreon took $1, so we have 2 left. We're gonna give $1.
We'll give
to-
$1, half of that money, which is,
Yeah.
I mean, as of
So
now,
it
it's not
only
a lot.
leaves us $1.
Yeah.
But you know.
Yeah,
it's-
which will reimburse me for the truck I had to rent to go pick up these chairs.
Yeah,
But
there you
that's
go.
all right. That's $50, $49 to go. $1 down, $49 to go to rent
Yeah.
that truck. But still, though, that $1 is, anything helps. But the point of that was that we'll find the charity itself. I think we have one in mind. It's if you go to the Anti-Capitalist Podcast Network, which that's what we are affiliated with. They have a I think it's a children's food organization that helps give Palestinian children food. So I think that's a pretty noble cause. So half of all of our Patreon money will go to that. I think that's everything.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Thank you, everybody. That was
Thanks,
the world's
everybody.
longest outro.
That was a very long-winded outro. We
And
appreciate it.
Next week we'll have some more up here. And
There will
some
be.
other
Well, I don't know about next week because I have to go back to work soon. Oh, the school year starts again, dude. I have been off work for 2 months.
Bro, lucky. I've been working 60 hours a
No,
week.
I know. Well, become a teacher, dude. You get summers off. But like, I will honestly say that like transition between having 2 months off and then having to go back to work after a 2-month vacation, I would have rather just worked the entire time because like they gave me hope and then snatched it away.
Oh, come on.
No, I know I'm complaining, but I have to go to work back to work next week.
Shit. Full time?
Yeah, maybe full time. Yeah, full time.
Well, maybe like it starts like slowly.
Nah,
rising
yeah,
up.
the kids aren't there for the first like a few days, so it's like teacher meetings and stuff.
It's
But
still July. They start in July.
no, that's August. I go back August. Next week is August.
I never started. At the earliest I've ever started school was like the 7th of September. I've never started school
No,
earlier than that.
just I work at a 10-month school. My last day of teaching was June 7th. I didn't get out until June 7th. And
Yeah,
then,
that's what we had, but we was in
Yeah.
September.
yeah, that's a 9-month school. So we do 10-month.
The hell's the difference?
An extra month. What do you mean? What's the difference?
What do you mean? What I mean? What? Why is there an extra month?
Because we're in school full 10 months, so we go like August
Semesters.
to June. It's just two like 5-month semesters basically, but sort of. But we get more time off throughout the school year, so we'll get like 2 weeks off in like Christmas, 2 weeks off on Thanksgiving, like you know what I
wow.
mean. So I get a lot more paid breaks spaced out throughout the year. I get a spring break, a midwinter break, a spring break. So I get like mini breaks throughout the year, which is nice. I like it that way. But I get a lot shorter of a summer break. I only get like 7 weeks in the summer.
Only. I can't
Yeah.
remember I've had more than 5 days off, to be honest, in the past like 4 or 5
I've
years.
been off work for 7 weeks, so yeah.
Oh
And I still get paid. I still cash in their paychecks.
my god, that's nice.
Become a teacher. It's nice. I mean, there's a lot of bullshit, but this part's nice.
Yeah.
Every federal holiday, every like Martin Luther King Day, every holiday.
Well, we've just got off for this tangent.
Yeah, oh my god, we gotta stop this.
See you
Say
guys.
bye.
I love you.